the same crepe myrtle tree, but one it's a red or paint color.
Okay.
And the other is white crepe myrtle. And
Okay.
white crepe myrtle is the one that's really, looks like a tree.
Right. And it could be, certain varieties don't get as large as others. It could be where the one that's not doing or not growing as vigorously is planted, that there could be something that it hit more rock under the ground. It may have hit clay under the ground, something that we can't see and really can't control, but it may affect water retention, whether or not it's draining more or less, one tree versus the other, nutritional take up because of the way the root zones had to operate. If it's more into a lawn area where maybe weed control had been going on, or even traffic across it doing different things, that where we sit, where we move, where we park the lawnmower, however, just small things like that can affect how the tree is going to thrive.
All right. Anyway, I just was really concerned because, it is really, the one tree, the larger tree, is really shedding bark like the snow tomorrow.
Right, and that is normal. If the rest of the tree looks okay, I wouldn't be real concerned. In about September, I would probably throw a little bit of just a good tree and shrub fertilizer around there if it hasn't been, fertilized. Spring and fall is usually about all you really need to do, especially on an established tree. If it's something like that, you might have a small amount of concern on it, and I would make sure I fertilized it before it goes into the winter months.
Alrighty.
All right, thank you very much. You're welcome.
Thank you, WOCA, for your programming.
All right, thank you.
All right.
The phone line is open if you want to call Carol Ann right now. And we're on the air.
And
the electricity's on.
We're in the light. We can see. That's always fun and exciting. Hey, something different for a Tuesday. But no, we have had a lot of rain. I wish I would remember to check what our official rainfall accounts are, because I think the other week I had said something about, I had heard that the month of June, at least down in the Lady Lake area, that they had like 10 or 12 inches of rain. And we've started out this month, because I work down there, I see how much is down that area, how much the rain is. And so I can't really judge what's happening at my house, but it's already where the 16th of July, and we've had rain almost every day.
I'm not complaining. I think it's a good thing.
We need it. It is bringing water levels up. It is benefiting the aquifer. It's being a boon to our landscape, and so I'm not complaining. Just I could use a day without it. Just one. Dry out.
Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Oh, good morning. I have a question about my agapanthus.
Okay.
I have a lot of beautiful agapanthus, but they haven't been blooming the last 2 years, and I wondered if you have a suggestion of what I could feed them or what I need to do.
And the agapanthus, I would, has anything, the canopy or anything around it changed?
No, they get nice sun, maybe late afternoon it gets shaded, but they get nice sun.
Right. I would, in the springtime, and spring meaning February, March kind of thing, would be that you could go ahead and use something like a bloom booster at that time of year. I know everybody thinks, well, it should be blooming now, I'll use a bloom booster, but that takes a while to actually get into the system of the plant. So it's better to put it on early in the season.
So I'm too late for this year then?
I think so, because it's going to take several weeks for that to actually do anything for the plant.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I enjoy the program.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, I've had a lot of people coming in, or not a lot, but people coming in and they're looking, this plant isn't flowering the way I want it to, or this one's not doing flowering, and mostly it is on the flowering. And the bloom booster fertilizers, they're the ones usually with a higher center number, your 15, 30, 15s, those kind of things that trigger a bloom, but to put them on during the season when it should be blooming isn't real effective. You have to do your improvements before it's the nutritional part of it in order to encourage that to pick up a better blooming. So if anybody's had anything in the landscape this year that didn't quite bloom, you don't think the way it should have this spring or hasn't picked it up this summer yet, is when you're in February, March, getting ready to fertilize, we're freshening everything up for the season, is use your bloom booster then. That's the time to, you nourish it before it begins to grow.
The bloom booster.
Bloom booster. Boost the blooms. I can't say it today.
The crepe myrtles are blooming right now.
Yes, they are. They're blooming very nicely.
So I have a crepe myrtle question.
Okay.
And I think I'm identifying the right tree. Some of them look like trees, like huge,
Yes,
and
right.
some of them just look like shrubs or bushes.
Right.
Are they two types, or
There's several different types, actually. There's the crepe myrtle will go anywhere from almost like an 18-inch ground cover. So you can actually put them where, you're talking 18 inches, 2 feet tall,
And that's
covered in bloom, and all the way up to, I believe, about a 30, 35-foot tree
there's
form in some. So there's different heights, different sizes.
and it's different colors.
Oh, so many different colors.
It's really a pretty tree.
It is, and I see some of the producers, breeders, however you want. It always sounds strange to say plant breeders, but there are plant breeders out there, have come up with some really interesting colorations, some with the really dark burgundy foliage where it's almost black, and it's quite striking when you see them. And then with the flowers being extremely vibrant in color, I'm just not sure what'll have, those ones, I wouldn't be hat racking those kind of things in February, taking a chainsaw to them,
Right.
because I'd be concerned that you're going to revert it back to its original breed if you do any damage to it. Right, because a lot of these, they're crossbred and things, and sometimes over a period of years you begin to lose some of those characteristics.
And the average person doesn't even realize that a plant is crossbred. I mean, the average person just thinks it's a plant, I can cut it, it'll grow back.
Right.
Yeah.
And well, if you bought it and it was patented, and you can usually tell the patented ones. They're the prettiest ones, and they have a named variety usually.
So I think you give us too much credit. I think you think we all know as much as you do.
If it's named, it's usually...
I don't think I have a name for any of my plants.
Well, you didn't buy plants.
Good morning, you're on the air with Carol Ann.
Yeah, good morning, Carol Ann.
Good morning.
Where's the crepe myrtle native to?
I'm not real sure. I know it does well in our...
It's probably South America, I would imagine. Huh?
Or possibly Asia.
Yeah.
We get a lot of things. Let me see if I can find it quickly. I don't know if I can. Actually, I could probably Google it on my phone.
I'll try to Google it. But is it crepe or crate? What do you think?
CRAPE.
APE. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
MYRTLE.
Okay, but not crepe like the pancake.
Right.
What is the usual age for a crepe myrtle as far as longevity?
Longevity, I'm going to say, well, I've got some on our property that are probably 50 years
good.
right now.
Yeah.
And just because of how long I've been married, and they were on the property before that, and 30-foot trees at that point.
Wow. Do the larger varieties usually live longer?
Probably, only because we're less apt to move them.
Yeah.
The smaller ones you may try to move around in the yard, or but I don't think that's that the size necessarily does in their lifespan any more than it would be what we do to them, being it's small, we move it or we cut them down and get rid of it.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't quite where we wanted it, and that kind of idea on that.
Yeah. I lost one of my viburnum bushes, so I used my certificate gift. It went over to Bob Wines and picked up the largest one they had. Now, when I had these bushes put in, I had them put in by a nursery, and I wasn't really watching too closely what they were doing. But you know, when you take it out of the plastic or the holder, the pot,
right,
you got this big ball of roots.
Right.
What do you do with it? You just put that in the ground, or are you supposed to kind of?
I prefer to work those roots out, especially if they are extremely tangled. If you've got a nice big screwdriver, that's a good way to take it out, set it on your bench or table, even on the ground, and just start at the top of the pot and put, the root ball, put that screwdriver in there and work that down.
Yeah.
And that will untangle, and then turn it over and work it down some more to where you have a nice, a looser root ball.
Yeah.
But you need to be really careful that you get enough soil back into that planting hole. But that's why we say don't go any deeper when we dig the hole, though you can go wider, because then you can fan those roots out into a better area in order to get that tree to establish. Because if you just pop it out of the pot and drop it in the hole in the ground, in 5 years you can come back and you can dig it up, and most of that root ball is going to look the same as it did when it came out of the pot.
I was afraid to do too much digging around,
It really doesn't hurt them. It does force them to put on more roots. Any root that is in the pot that has gone to the edges and has made that 90-degree turn and going straight down, that root is nearly useless.
Oh, okay.
It really, because it can't hold anything. It can't. It's not doing any support. The same way with the ones that hit the bottom of the pot and really seriously begin to circle. They're not doing any good. A lot of times, actually, just cutting those ones off, though as drastic as that sounds, is better. You do get some shock. But proper care after planting. Proper watering, don't fertilize it until it has had a chance to settle in, and when you're slowing down on the amount of water.
If I planted it like this week, how long would it need to be before it's established? Would you say a couple of months, or?
It takes at least how big a pot was it? About a 3-gallon?
Well, I don't know if it was 3 gallon. It probably was, but the bush was I would say about 4 foot high.
Okay, they usually take about 3 to 4 months to get well established. I usually try to tell people don't fertilize them for at least 6 weeks after planting, because of the amount of water that you're putting. You're just washing the fertilizer away from the root zone. So why waste the fertilizer by putting it in the groundwater? Wait till that 6-week period is over, where you've really dropped way down on how much you're putting on. Of course, right now probably nobody's needing to put any on anything you're getting established, but I would still watch with a rain gauge, with a tin can or something, to make sure that you're getting enough water in that area, at least on a weekly basis, and then mark it on the calendar, wait about 6 weeks, and use a decent fertilizer on it.
I don't think I would have to water anymore now with the rains. It seems like every day we're getting either 3/10 to a half an inch of rain.
That's usually enough. You may just check that root ball, though, establishing, because you figure there's a small canopy over that may be preventing some of that water of getting right there. And it might just be take a pitcher of water out and just make sure it's getting some water right there on those smaller feeder roots. Just so that you know that you've got it well watered in those areas.
Once they're well established in 3-4 months, what water every 10 days or so, or
approximately. If we're not getting any rain, once we get into October, November, when our rains really cut way back, at that point, maybe every 2 weeks, and making sure that it gets a little water. Once we hit the true dormancy, say after mid-November, I would probably only water maybe once a month on those, and then in the spring you might bump it up to once every 2 weeks until the rains come, and that way you should get a well-established and a fast-growing, quickly establishing, and it should begin to grow up.
My bush line matches up with my neighbor's and along his line, and he's had his in for Oh, geez, I would say I'm going on 4 years now.
Okay.
And after it was established, he never waters at any time of the year, and those things are really they're going crazy.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And that's true. Once an established shrub and tree really does not need supplemental water, except the only exception I would say is during a drought time.
Yeah.
And possibly if you're going, and same thing with fertilization, they generally don't need fertilizer. If it's been in the ground 2, 3, 4 years, most plants do not need extra fertilization.
Yeah.
They're getting it from all over the place.
Yeah.
If you fertilize your lawn, you fertilize your trees, because the way the root zones go. But those first couple of years of using a decent tree and shrub fertilizer in the landscape, and you can use the same fertilizer for pretty well anything. The only thing I get a little particular on might be something that I'm concerned, like roses or azaleas and camellias. But even then, there's a couple of really good fertilizers out there that are good slow release nitrogen.
Right.
So it's not going to force a whole lot of top growth, but it's going to nourish the soil, which is going to nourish the plants.
I had 47 bushes planted.
Wow.
Yeah, and some of them are really, they're like 6, 7 foot tall, and then some of them are like maybe 4.
Okay.
If I top the higher ones off, will it force them to bush out on the sides?
It usually will, yeah.
Okay.
Most of the time, yeah. You take the top out of them, they're gonna grow more from the side branches, the lower branches.
Yeah. When that bush has been around for a while, I can't really tell about my neighbors, but what is it like to be trimmed? Like, is it once a year or more often?
Depending on how much. Usually, once they start growing in the spring, depending on how high you're trying to keep them, and how dense you're needing to, you might in the early spring, once the growing season begins, instead of just cutting it, say 3 or 4 inches off of them, you might take it down to take like 6 inches off, allowing a little more light into the center of them. And then that way, when they do grow, they can grow 6 inches before you're thinking about needing to prune again. Depending on how much height you're trying to get out of them in your final growth.
Yeah. Well, they told me, the people that planted them, that it was considered what they call an aggressive grower, and they're right. Those things really go crazy.
Oh yeah. And again, on that first several months, I don't like to prune unless it is just to get a limb or two back in where it needs to be.
Right. Okay, well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, bye now.
Bye-bye. Yeah, and looking, I don't know if you had found it, because I think I spelled crepe wrong for you.
No, you
CREPE is what this one's got. Is actually, they are native to Japan.
Isn't that interesting? And now with APE, it says native to China and Korea.
Well, that would be your Asian, yeah. That background within it. So I think they just spelled it wrong.
So Asia is probably didn't anything begin here? So seems like
the American crabapple. I don't know.
Seems like everything started somewhere.
There's a lot of stuff that is native. We just don't always think of it as that, because sometimes we give it names like the Mexican firebush,
which is native to Florida.
Native to Florida.
Okay, it's just got a weird name.
Right. Yeah, we just name things.
A misleading name.
Right.
Do you know what I read about Johnny Appleseed, by the way?
What did you read about Johnny Appleseed?
Well, he's known for planting apples.
Right.
But he did that to make money. Because he would grow the trees in places where he figured people would settle, and then he would sell the trees, not because people were that big on apples, but because they were that big on apple cider. Apple cider was huge.
Oh, okay.
Especially if it was fermented.
Right. Make it hard cider.
Yeah.
And then go one.
So it was a nice thing to do, to plant apples.
But it was purely for financial gain.
It was a job for him.
Yeah.
It was a way to make money.
Why not?
Look, that's how almost everything happens.
Sure.
Can you imagine if we were all gazillionaires? We wouldn't do anything. Nothing get done.
Yeah, that would be, I think something would get done. It's just it wouldn't be.
What would you do?
It would all be for fun. I'd be out in the garden if I didn't have to go anywhere.
Yeah, but where would you go? Where would you go to buy your fertilizer? There'd be nobody there working. Well, somebody'd want to do something. Because it would mean that money didn't have any value. Oh, yeah, I gotcha. So we'd
Yeah.
be back to zero.
We'd be
so
back
if we
to
all
zero.
became gazillionaires,
you got
we'd all be
pavement.
poor.
Yeah, here, hand them
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
Be like playing cards.
Carolyn, we need to take a little break.
Okay.
And we'll be right back. If you have a question for Carolyn or would like to participate in the show, please call. The number is the WOCA Climate Control Source Hotline, 622-9622. We'll be back in about 2.5 minutes.
Alice, you gotta hear that.
What?
When I call Devon Self-Storage at 873-0777, they answer the phone always so happy.
Always?
Here, listen.
Thank you for calling Devon Self-Storage. This is John. How may I help you today?
George.
What?
You hung up.
Of course, I know all about Devon Self-Storage across from Hobby Lobby and 200 and how you can store just about anything there and you have your own code to get in. I just want to hear him answer the phone again.
Again?
Well,
Yes, George, yes.
Hi, this is Brad. I want to take a moment to talk about a serious issue. In the next 5 years, the aviation industry is projected to have a shortage of commercial pilots. Now is the time to start training. Ocala Flying Club has started a scholarship for the youth of Marion County ages 17 to 24. The club will donate up to $4,000 towards a pilot's license. This will help get the student on their way to obtaining their commercial pilot license. If this sounds like something you would be interested in, or if you know someone that would be, please contact Ocala Aviation Services, 861-7484.
Hey, I didn't know it rained last night.
Oh, it didn't. Why do you say that?
Because little Johnny's in the backyard playing in that big mud puddle.
Did you leave the hose on?
No, the neighbor borrowed it yesterday.
Wait, is that the side where the septic...
Johnny, get out of there!
Having septic problems? At Mike Scott Plumbing, we can make those septic worries disappear. We can pump your septic tank, repair your drain field, and, if needed, even install a whole new system. At Mike Scott Plumbing, we don't take crap from anyone. We take it from everyone. 237-2888. Mike Scott Plumbing. If water runs through it, we do it.
Hi, I'm Russ with Climate Control Mechanical Services, and I want to invite you to tune in every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. to listen for tips and answers to the many questions you may have about your air conditioning and heating for your home or business. The Climate Control Show, every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. right here on WOCA, 1370 a.m. and 96.3 FM, The Source.
Hi, I'm Yvette, and I'm here to tell you a few things about ABC Fredericks Appliance. They sell not only new, but used guaranteed appliances. When you call ABC Fredericks Appliance, they will provide service on what they sell and any appliances that you own. ABC Fredericks Appliance is located in Bellevue, right over the railroad tracks. Call 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. ABC Fredericks Appliance.
Hello all, Joe Martone here for Karaoke Time. You hear me each morning for the segment of Fun with Joe? Well, fun is what I do. So the next time you want to have a get-together, for just about any reason, give me a call. 470-0276. For Karaoke Time, that number is 470-0276. Everybody likes to sing, and with the words on the screen, it's just that much easier. Call Karaoke Time, 470-0276 for the next event, big or small. Karaoke Time can keep the fun in your business, too.
Hi folks, I'm Seth McBride with Pasture Sports, here today to tell you about our annual early buy school uniform sale, calling all students and parents. Now is the time to buy your school uniforms from Pasture Sports. Buy now, save huge for next year. So come on down to Pasture Sports for the only big school uniform sale of the year. Located on Highway 200 across from Honda of Ocala, Pasture Sports, your uniform experts.
Universal Soil Solutions continues its quest to bring remediation through education to Marion County. Our staff is located in the Paddock Mall Center Court and ready to answer all of your sinkhole questions. Know the facts when it comes to protecting and preserving your structure. Be smart, get educated. Knowledge is only potential power. Take action. Let us educate you so you'll be confident in your decision making. Visit our kiosk and ask us how our business cards can be worth $1,000. We are your sinkhole solution. Universal Soil Solutions, where integrity meets trust. Call 877-519-2777 for additional information.
All right, 25 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you for listening. Carol Ann Baldwin is here. And let's return to Carol Ann and her show, You've Got a Garden, Carol Ann.
All right. I do want to mention one thing, because everybody has, I think, has loved all the farmers markets and such that have been around. And I guess our North Magnolia Farmers Market is... What is it? That one, I can't remember now if that one's actually finished out yet or not. But there's a new farmers market that's coming on, so it's going to replace the one on North Magnolia.
Different people.
It's No, I guess a lot of the same vendors will be
Okay,
there. I think
okay.
they're expanding it
Is that the
into
326
more.
one?
This is the 326 one across from Greenbrier
And it's named that
at
because
326 Market.
it's on 326.
Because it's on 326.
Oh, okay.
So, but its first day will be the 25th, which is a Thursday. So that's something different too. It'll be Thursdays instead of Fridays, and I think part of that too is probably because of the one at McPherson is a big one on Friday.
Okay.
So you kind of got to work in conjunction. You only have so many farmers market type vendors that
Right.
have local produce, things
do you
like
think is
that
the-
that can go around.
If you were to ask everybody, why do you shop at a farmer's market? Do you think the most common answer is health or money? Is it cheaper or more affordable?
I won't say it's necessarily more affordable because some of the items would be they are very seasonal.
Is it tastier?
It possibly tastier. It is local food or local product. Something interesting because you do get home-baked goods.
Oh, right.
Yeah, home-baked. Yeah, the local honey. If anybody has followed any of the health trends or the allergy type issues, I think nowadays if I ever moved somewhere, which probably never happened, I'm one of those people who got deep roots or something. I don't move well. Find a farmer's market and get the local honey so that you don't go through allergy issues of where you move to. But also, I believe there's folks that do some handcraft as well. That these are. It's for. There's a lot of different reasons why people go to farmers market. I think it is the freshness of produce, the freshness of baked goods or jellies, jams, things like that. Maybe something a little more unique than what you're going to find at the grocery store. It's also a social event.
Yes.
It's also very social. And.
By the way, can I interject something? Robert and I speak to a lot of authors, and a lot of them are health authors, and a lot of them disagree or contradict each other. The one thing they seem to agree on is the local thing.
Yes.
They almost all, in fact, I forget the word almost, they all say that locally produced vegetables and food in general, honey comes up a lot, is the best you can get.
That's it. And again, that goes back to I don't call myself a tree hugger. I love the trees for the shade, but I will cut them down and burn them in my fireplace in the wood.
Me too.
So that I can have a fire in the evening. But
there's nothing to be ashamed of if you want to be a good steward. And
I think of myself as being a steward. But it's also this whole environmental thing. If it's a locally produced, because I hate that carbon footprint phrase. I don't know why. It just rubs me wrong, but it hasn't had to travel very far. If it's from the farm that's 30 miles away, it's still or 10 miles away, 5 miles away. That's still a heck of a lot closer than the farm that's 1,500 miles away or 3,000 miles away.
I wonder why it's healthier though. I don't
because
really...
it's picked at the peak of ripeness.
Okay.
Not picked a little early and allowed to ripen, or possibly gassed to show to help it to ripen, or to cover the blemishes and things like that. I think more people are, or at least my thought is, I don't have to have organic. Moreover, I would rather have local. Versus, if you can go pesticide free, that's even better. But you've got several different things where people go on those things. But the local has seemed to have overwhelmingly become the top item versus necessarily the organic or the pesticide free. Usually local stuff.
I want your opinion on something. It's really not about gardening, but it's about eggs.
About eggs.
Brown versus white. Is there a difference? Is one healthier than the other?
Best of my knowledge, the egg is an egg. The way the difference comes in is what they're fed. So
I thought it was
if you
the color
were
of the
getting,
I heard it was the color of the earlobes.
Is what you get the different color eggs?
That's what I heard.
There could be. But I just
it's
Rhode Island Reds lay it's hard to you can't see the chickens that are laying the eggs. But no, on that, when it comes to I'm not a big egg eater, so I don't think I would notice the difference in taste, except that when we did have chickens, homegrown eggs did seem to taste better, but then again, we controlled.
But the color of the eggs didn't matter, right?
No, not on the outside, no, because we had ducks too, and the ducks laid green eggs.
Green eggs?
So we could have green eggs and ham.
Oh, wow.
Of course, once it was cracked, it looked the same thing as
Did
a
it
chicken
taste
egg
the
because
same?
they all ate the same food.
Did it taste the same?
Yeah, they all ate the same food.
Huh.
Girlfriend who used to love to take the duck eggs she loved them. She said they were more rich in the flavor.
The duck
I'm not
eggs.
real sure. Yeah,
Huh.
but yeah, when you're getting them again from a farmer's market, they're fresh. Eggs will keep in a cool room for up to 5 weeks or more without having to be refrigerated. They just need to be kept,
Is
cool.
that right? I didn't know that.
That they're self-clean. I wouldn't. I would not wash eggs until I'm ready to use them, especially if they're warm, just like produce.
Uh-huh.
You wash it too far in advance. You actually take the bad stuff that could be on the outside and put it on the inside, and then it sits there waiting.
Really?
To go in. Yeah, if you pick a tomato out of the hot sun,
I don't wash my eggs at all.
because most we buy them in the market, they've generally been washed.
Oh, okay.
But if when you take them out from underneath the hen, you need to wash the eggs.
Okay.
So, but again, I would never take them out from underneath and go and run in the house and wash them unless I was going to cook them right then. But
So when you wash them, the bad stuff goes inside the egg somehow?
Sometimes what can happen just with the produce, if I think commercially when they do it, these things are in refrigerated. They've gone through, they've cooled down. If you take a nice, like I was saying, nice warm tomato, nice sunny, pick that off of there, and you take it in the house and you wash it and you set it back on the counter. Any bacteria that may have been on the outside of that tomato, it was nice and warm. You washed it with cool water.
Right.
It just. The pores,
Really?
it's
Sucked it in,
porous because they're it's porous.
So how do they clean them in the factory or whatever?
You wash your produce before you use it.
No, but I mean, you said when you wash it, it puts the bad stuff inside.
When they do them commercially,
they have a different way of doing it.
Okay. Yeah. But you take something warm and you expose it to cold water.
That one company that puts a red stamp on the egg.
The Eggland's Best.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Is there somebody actually doing one at a time? I mean, is there a machine?
It's probably a machine.
That does it so lightly it won't crack the egg?
It just probably just rolls across the top of them.
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows? I'm not sure. I haven't been to the egg factory.
Are they really better than the rest?
I have no idea.
Talking about eggs, I don't know why.
It's because it's produce market, it's farmers market kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But that's where that's I think with the it has become a return to an industry that hasn't been around, hadn't been around for a while. Everybody got into, and I guess we just had another great big box store open up out in the shores.
The Walmart.
Yeah.
So that is new. I saw it the other day.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if that had always been there.
No, I believe it just opened today.
Oh, it opened today for the first time?
I think so.
I didn't know that.
But it's it's another one of those things which a lot of folks I think have started to shy away from some of that, and they're going back to their local produce markets, their local grocery stores for your time and your convenience.
If you live there, that is your local grocery store.
It could be, but there's also probably another grocery store nearby. There's usually not just a Walmart in the middle of nowhere.
But a lot of times Walmart has their produce section almost looking like a farmer's market. Don't you think? They've got the food in the baskets. They've got it's set up almost like a farmer's market.
Well, they're trying to
make you feel.
They're trying to make you feel. Now they're running their advertising and
by the way,
on that, but I won't get into that.
If I looked it up, I'd find the name. Did you know that there was a banana that was a tastier banana that is extinct, that we don't have it anymore, and the one we have now is threatening to be extinct?
It's probably a fungus.
Let me look at it. Let me look it up.
That I had not heard.
I'll look it up.
That there was a tastier banana and it went away.
Yes. Let me find it here real quickly.
Well, it's one of those things and when you get into a monoculture of produce, the number one potato grown in the United States for consumption throughout the United States is the russet, or the russet Burbank. And should we ever get a disease within that russet Burbank family of potatoes, it's gone. We lose those potatoes. That was, the Great Potato Famine. It's when you get a monoculture going, it really can be devastating over a period of time when things go wrong. I think it's the Incas, they grow like 50 different kinds of potatoes all over the place in different locations, and they harvest and use all these potatoes. That's where some of your purple potatoes and the red potato, things like that, all come from. Should they get a disease issue or a pest issue that wipes out one kind for one season, they still have 6 or 8 other types of potato that they can use. Here, should we get a virus or a fungus or an insect pest that decides to run rampant through the potato industry, we're kind of sunk. We grow pretty much at commercially. Now, there are smaller farms that do grow the little, I forget the names of them, but like the little I call them ladyfinger, butterfinger potatoes, the little long, narrow ones that are buttery yellow. There are some people who grow the purple ones. Those are the real expensive potatoes, those little fancy ones, the little red potatoes. But most of your white potatoes, most of your potato chips, salad, by the way. Right there you go. Most of your potato chips, your boxed potatoes, your potato flakes, for instant potatoes, all of this stuff, potato flour, is more than likely it's all your russet Burbanks.
Really?
And
okay, here's the banana story. Ready for this?
Okay.
Our great-grandparents grew up eating not the Cavendish, but the Gros Michel banana.
Okay.
Okay. So we eat the Cavendish. They ate the Gros Michel, which everyone agreed was tastier. But starting in the early 1900s, banana plantations were invaded by a fungus called Panama disease, and they vanished one by one. The Gros Michels vanished. By 1960, the Gros Michel was extinct, and the banana industry nearly went bankrupt. But it was saved at the last minute by the Cavendish banana, which is a Chinese banana. That's the one we eat now.
And it was probably immune to the Panama disease.
But now, over the past decade, a new, more virulent strain of Panama disease has begun to spread across the world. This time, the Cavendish is not immune.
So I'm sure they're looking for some other breeds.
We might have no bananas. There's a song like that, isn't there? Isn't that a song, Yes, We Have No Bananas? Something
like that.
Well, that'd be sad.
Yeah. That would not be a beneficial thing for
what would the
anyone.
monkeys do?
I don't know. That'd be a tough one. But no, that and children, that's one of their favorite first foods, banana.
Well, both ends of the age extreme.
Yeah.
Old people like bananas too.
Oh yeah. And what's a bowl of cereal without a banana?
It's a gummable fruit.
There you go.
You can gum it.
Well, there goes the banana bread. But no, so I would figure that they're either looking for a cure to this fungus, or unless it's viral, or that they're looking to breed a new banana.
This banana, I've already told you, it tastes terrible. The one here in the Cascades.
And it may actually, it's possible it's a plantain.
Little tiny one? Because
they're just real little teeny ones?
They're 6, maybe 8 inches at the most.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's an ornamental banana. Probably.
Ornamental banana.
It's pretty to look at.
It's fun to say.
Ornamental banana?
Yeah.
It just isn't right. Just isn't right.
This program has a little prize at the end of it. We have a gift certificate to Bob Wine's Community Gardens and Nursery. It's a $20 gift certificate, and I'll ask a trivia question at the end of the show that'll win you this $20 gift certificate.
That's right. And I know during the spring, I don't know if they do in the fall, Bob Wines does usually carry vegetable starts. I think he carries some fruit trees. So again, you can bring your own farmer's market into your own backyard by growing some dooryard fruits and vegetables.
Did I tell you I went to a Jewish ceremony a couple weeks ago?
I saw something. You had something posted on Facebook,
But this is what it has to do with gardening. They cut a boy's hair when he reaches 3 years old because you're not supposed to eat the fruit of a tree until it's 3 years old. That's their religion. But do we?
Right.
But do we do that in general? Is it?
Well, it's usually, I know when you plant the tree, I think I've said it numerous times, most growers will tell you not to allow it to set fruit for the first 2 years.
How do you do that? How do you not?
Well, you cut it off. You don't consume the fruit. You let.
Oh, you don't eat it.
You don't even let it ripen. In ours, because you want that tree to grow.
So you cut it off?
You want the roots to grow, you want the top of the tree to grow, and after about 3 years it should be at a mature age to begin to fruit.
Well, what would happen if you didn't? Would the fruit be bad, or?
No, it would slow the tree's growth is what the thought is.
Really?
Is that it's taking the energy that it would otherwise be using to make a root zone and to make canopy and putting it into ripening and maturing fruit.
So help me understand this. Let's say I get a fruit tree.
Mm-hmm.
It's 1 year old and I see it started to get little fruit. Do I pick them off and throw them away?
That's usually what they recommend.
Okay.
Is not to allow them. Most people don't. They just can't do it, or they might the first year, because that's what's frustrating when you see the trees that are in the stores. That tree might be 3 years old, but it's not in the ground 3 years. It's still in a pot, and it'll have fruit on it, and people buy it. Oh, isn't that great? It's got fruit on it. Well, you put it in the ground, you should actually cut that fruit off and just get rid of it, because you want that tree to make roots. You don't.
See,
let that
that's good
fruit,
advice that I would easily have not known. How would I have known that? Does it tell you that in the instructions?
No, not usually. No. Most, and I know it within the citrus industry, apples, peaches, and pears and things like that normally don't come with any fruit on them, and they may or may not even fruit for that first couple of years getting established. So that even.
So what is the function of the fruit for the plant is to
reproduce itself.
So isn't that the same as the flower? So does the same rule apply to flowering plants?
Yes, because they make a seed.
So you cut the buds off of a flower plant? No,
because it's a whole different thing, because the life cycle kind of thing. It's a fruit tree is of course generally much larger.
Yeah.
And you're going for something that you want it to be long-lived because you want it to produce for many years. But that is pretty much what the plant is there for. It is there to reproduce itself. It's sort of like this great big cycle that, the greater powers above that have said this is how, you put the seed in the ground, it grows a plant, it makes a flower, it makes a seed, it puts its seed in the ground, and starts all over again. Unless you go and you pull them up by accident, not realizing they're not weeds when you're preparing the bed to put more bought flowers into the ground. But
do you know what I wondered about when it's very, very hot out there and then it rains and you can actually see steam rising from the ground, not usually the ground, but usually the parking lots, etc.
Right, the asphalt.
Does that sauna type effect, even though it's temporary, does that have an effect, positive or negative, on the plants?
It increases the humidity, so on some things it's
like
positive.
Pure humidity.
Yeah, you step out after the heavy rains and you smell earthworm too, but that's where they come up out of the ground. And
I think I can smell frogs too, by the way.
You might be able to.
You know how I smell them? Because when I'm driving down the road, and other people are too, I think I'm smelling squished frog.
It's either that or squished earthworm.
One of these, but when you drive, you can see the frogs though.
Right.
They're jumping all over the place.
Okay.
And you can smell the scent. You go, that must be what a squished frog smells like.
That might be. Oh, the squished frog.
They're just all over the place.
Yes, that just don't get it for cologne. That de squished frog is not a pleasant one.
Not a good one at all.
But,
all right, you ready for my question?
Ready for the question.
All right, now I don't know if I'm jumping in too early. It's 5. We got 5 whole minutes. But there's a $20 gift certificate for Bob Wine's Community Gardens and Nursery, and I'm going to use my banana research as my question.
Oh, okay.
See if you remember, because I did say the answer earlier. What was the name of the banana that went extinct that our great-grandparents ate? We eat the Cavendish. What did they eat?
What did they eat?
Do you remember?
I do. I don't think I can say it, though.
It's a funny name.
It is a funny
and
name.
I might be mispronouncing it, but
Well,
our great-grandparents grew up eating not the Cavendish, but the what?
but the
banana?
other one.
The other one that went extinct because of the Panama disease.
That's got that in here.
Well, I wonder if they were bigger. I mean, those people who were able to have tasted both must have felt like they were tastier.
It was probably had a better sugar content, or possibly the texture might have been a little.
You know, with all this talk about, genetic engineering and stuff, you would think that
Right.
somebody would clone it and bring it back.
You would think.
I mean, I don't think there'd be any controversial issue with cloning a banana. Do you?
I don't think
I mean,
so.
right now, you talk about cloning, and people go, whoa.
They clone plants all the time. That's where a lot of your when you find orchids in the big box stores or the guys on the side of the road in the flea market selling them, they're generally what they call tissue culture. What is tissue culture but cloning? They take a small piece of the plant and they get it to replicate
Makes
itself.
sense, yeah.
Now, when you find the really cool blue orchids, realize the next time they bloom, they will not be blue. They will be white because there are no blue orchids and they were dyed.
Really?
You can do it yourself too. You can
dye it yourself?
You can dye it yourself. All you've got to do is it's just injected in there. It's probably just a food grade food coloring. But yeah, that's
all right. Well, I got $20 here waiting for somebody. If you can tell me the name of the banana that went extinct, that was around even in 1960, apparently. So maybe I had one. I was born in 55.
Right.
Could have had a grow.
You could have.
I almost said it. I almost said the name. It's worth $20 if you know the name of the banana that went extinct.
Yeah.
Before the Cavendish was the more common banana.
That's what I was trying to see if they don't even mention it in, not that I'm finding here.
I'll give you a hint. It's got two words, starts with a G and an M. And it almost looks like a name. Well, it is a name.
It is a name.
The
It's
second
the
half
name
is.
of the-
Do you have it?
No.
Did you find it? No. Do you remember it?
Kind of. I was just looking to see if they made mention of that being an issue, that, fungal problems having a...
Did you ever go to a butterfly exhibit like at the University of Florida?
I love that exhibit. It's
And they
gorgeous.
use like rotting bananas as butterfly attractants.
Yeah, and peaches.
Oh, really?
Pieces of
Peaches, too?
peach will work too. That kind of stuff. They don't use it there, but
Did you ever
you
see
will
the-
find them in animal feces stuff.
Oh, really?
And just in mud puddles.
Did you ever see the Gatorade trick they do at the butterfly exhibit? You stick your finger in Gatorade, and even if it dries on your finger, the butterfly will land right on your finger.
Because of the salts.
What is that? What it is?
Yeah.
It's the Gatorade trick. If
The
you only have
Gatorade.
butterflies, it's fun for the children. You put their,
Oh,
they put
yeah.
their fingers in the Gatorade,
And then,
the
yeah.
butterflies will just land on their fingers.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. Nobody's getting it, huh?
Nobody's got it?
$20. That's not our line.
They just got to figure out how to Google it.
Did I maybe not have the phone on the right place? No, that's right. I know we had a power outage earlier. I didn't know if I
Whether or not you'd
switched
messed up the
everything.
phones.
Yeah. All right. Well, the number to call is the WOCA Climate Control Source Hotline 622-9622. The first of the two words.
He would like to answer your question on the other line.
On the other line.
Yep.
Now, how did you get that number? I have no clue. The other line. The other line has the answer. Good morning. You're on the air. Do you know the answer?
Got the number out of your phone book.
Oh, the number's in the phone book.
Yes, Grow Michelle.
Oh, is that how you say grow, Michelle?
Yep.
Oh, excellent. And so does it mean something?
No, it's just a variety.
Okay. Did you?
And incidentally, they are growing it again in small quantities for specialist markets.
Oh, really?
Ah.
Okay. All right. Boy, you sound familiar. Is this Father something? Father Pat? Father Mike? Father?
No.
No, okay. You sound like one of the...
No, I'm a Jamaican by birth, and that's where they were growing very greatly.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Well, good for you. What's your first name?
David.
David, you've got a $20 gift certificate to Bob Wine's Community Gardens and Nursery.
Good.
And do you know where we are?
In the on the way down 40 East there.
Yes, in the Cascades. Yes.
Yeah, you haven't moved yet.
No, we have not moved yet.
Okay.
All right, David. Thank you so much.
How late do you close?
What are we here till 5, Robin? 5. 5.
Yeah, I'll be there.
All right, thank you.
Thanks so much.
There you go. He even knew how to pronounce it.
Yeah,
I was
well,
calling it
that's-
gross, Michelle, right?
Yeah, something like that.
GROS is the first word,
Gross.
so it looks like gross, right?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
It's always nice to have
I'm learning
somebody-
something new.
And that what's nice is that it's being produced though small scale again.
So
So
maybe-
somebody, it did not go totally extinct. So someone found
What I
a
should
plant or whatever, and has started to redo, which can be good because it may be able to be, trying to
maybe
be able
it'll
to
have a
create-
comeback. I should have asked him if he had tasted it, and is it really that much better than what we know now?
on the other. Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting.
I didn't know that phone number was listed.
No, I wouldn't think
That's
it
funny.
was. Yeah.
All right. Unless something happened and the electricity knocked the lines out of
And
whack.
moved them, traded places with.
Could be. Carol, always a good show.
Always
and,
have fun.
So we'll see you next week, and thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Look the same, but it's alright now. I learned my lesson well. You see, you can't please everyone, so you got to please yourself.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
ABC News Now. I'm Karen Chase. Gas prices continue to test people's patience at the pumps. They've shot up 15 cents in the past week to a national average of $3.54 a gallon. The driving force is nervousness about unrest in Egypt. One of George Zimmerman's jurors says he was guilty, but only of bad judgment. Juror B37 told CNN she thought his heart was in the right place, but crime in his neighborhood displaced it, and he went above and beyond what he should have. More heat records could melt in the Northeast as the heat wave just gets warmed up. Forecasters say temperatures in the Northeast and Midwest could hover in the 90s and hundreds all week. Is your shampoo giving you a rash? The American Academy of Dermatology says a common chemical in shampoos, skin creams, and even wet wipes called MI was first introduced in 2005, but now repeated use over time is triggering skin allergies. The new wave of technology may be self-destructive. Scientists are developing electronics that dissolve in water. This born-to-die technology is aimed at saving space in landfills and reducing waste. This is ABC News.
From painting to mowing the grass to vacuuming, you'll spend hours maintaining your home. Here's one task to check off your to-do list: changing smoke alarm batteries. Replace your older alarms with new Kidde worry-free smoke alarms. The sealed-in lithium battery lasts 10 years, the recommended life of an alarm. No more searching for a battery and no more low battery chirps. Head to the Home Depot and check that box for a decade with Kidde worry-free smoke alarms. Kidde, technology that saves lives.
Hi, Tom Bodette. It's never been easier to book a clean, comfortable room at Motel 6. You can book online at motel6.com, use our cool new app on your tablet or smartphone, or call 1-800-4-MOTEL-6 on your dumb phone. Sadly, you can't book by pigeon or Morse code, so if you want the lowest price of any national chain by telegraph, I guess you're just ... I'm Tom Bodette for Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Life jackets save lives. We're in Florida. For today, a mix of sun and clouds. Another hot, humid day with a thunderstorm or two around this afternoon and evening. High 87 to 91. Partly cloudy later tonight, though 72 to 76. Times of clouds and sun tomorrow with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, especially during the afternoon hours over the interior. High 86 to 90. Some sunshine Thursday. A shower and thunderstorm or two. High 88 to 92. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Joe Lundberg.
Time begins for the Silver Springs Lions Train Show, July 20th and 21st at the National Guard Armory, 900 Southwest 20th Street in Ocala. Times are 9 to 4 on Saturday, 10 to 3 on Sunday. $4 admission for adults, children 12 and under free with a paying adult. You bring in a can of food or a non-perishable item, it's $1 off admission. Come join us for operating train layouts, new and old trains, good food, and just a lot of fun. See you at the show.
Sign up for this year's Marion County Heart Walk and be part of a local movement that's helping others live longer, healthier lives. Join Chairman Dr. Jim Henningsen and walk with us on Saturday, October 5th at Baseline Road Trailhead. It's a free event promoting physical activity and heart-healthy living. To find out how you can help the fight against the #1 killer of all Americans, visit us online at marionheartwalk.org.
Hi, this is John Sotomayor, Executive Editor of Ocala Magazine, here to tell you that Ocala Magazine now has its very own radio show, and it's right here on WOCA The Source.
Tune in every Friday at 10 a.m.
When we bring the pages of Ocala Magazine to life, we'll be covering the latest stories that impact your world right here in Ocala.
Be sure to tune in every Friday at 10 a.m.
For Ocala Magazine Radio, right here on WOCA, 1370 AM and 96.3 FM, The Source.
Stay informed on everything going on in the villages with the Village Spectator newspaper. The Village Spectator is exclusively devoted to the villages with news, commentary, and more. And yes, they have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask is that you tell them where you heard about them. Call Tom's Picks at 804-1223 and pick up your copy of the Village Spectator today.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.